What up, Dokkanners? Welcome back to Tsunami for another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the upcoming update, the 4.18.2 update, namely the same name update. This will finally be hitting Dokkan, and now we have official confirmation as to when that's going to be happening. On the 16th of August at refresh, actually, I think it's right before refresh, we will go into maintenance, and then we will probably be in maintenance for about 8 or 9 hours. Based on how they've been doing things since the recent personnel change, it'll probably be under the time that they provide. But when we come out of it, we will have the same name update. So this video is going to be all about going over the same name update, how it works once again, and a couple notable units and concepts that will be gaining a massive boost in value post same name update. So to reiterate what this is, I've done videos on this in the past, but since this is now happening to global, we're going to go over it again. 4.18.2 will be released soon. Here's the first-hand information on the new features. Optimized team formation feature. You'll be able to include characters of the same name, but different second names on the same team. Certain stages excluded. So this is basically like your Ultimate Clash. When you're building teams for Ultimate Clash, you're allowed to bring units of the same name, but the differentiating factor is the secondary name. So what that is, I'll show you right here. Super Saiyan Gohan Youth, that is the actual name of the unit. But above it, it says Soaring New Generation. So you can run this unit, who is the TUR, on the same team as his SSR because the secondary name is different. So here it says Super Saiyan Gohan Youth, Successor of the Strongest. Successor of the Strongest, sorry. So that says Successor of the Strongest, and this says Soaring New Generation. So because they're different, they can be run on the same team. That is basically what that means. So now you can run multiple Super Saiyan Gokus, multiple Super Saiyan Vegetas. They show you an example here where 3 different Super Saiyan Gokus are being run on the same team. The trade-off for this is that the link skills will not be activated between those characters. I think that's a fair and a nice balancing act that they've enacted into this game, because imagine running a full Super Saiyan Goku team, which is going to be possible. I think it's probably possible right now. But as the game continues to evolve, we'll be getting more and more units with the same name. So imagine just running a full Super Saiyan Goku team. And since they are the same character, naturally their character links would be ridiculously on point. So having them all activate would just be too unfair. So I think it's a fair trade to have the links disabled. Characters of the same name cannot be included on same teams in certain events such as Extreme Z Battles. So that is still going to be a limitation. During Extreme Z Battles, they want there to be an element of a challenge, and if you bring a full team with the same unit, that's not much of a challenge. So there is still going to be a restriction on Extreme Z Battle, but basically the Ultimate Clash rule has now been extended to the rest of Dokkan. Added super attack type. So this is the other thing that we are also getting in this update, and this is a big deal because this is not something that JP got at the same time as the same name update. These were 2 separate updates, but the fact that Global is getting this earlier leads us to believe that the worldwide download celebration is going to require something like this. Since JP already has this in their game and we don't, the unit would have to be something that could be accessible to both versions. So with this update actually dropping on global, that means that both versions will soon be able to have units that function with this. What this does, I've talked about this in the past, is it basically identifies the type of super attacks. This can be useful for a number of reasons. Number 1, it helps organization. Number 2, it now enables extra forms of passives. So the example that I'm going to bring up is going to be the Gogeta. So as you can see here, this is the Gogeta that JP Dokkan has. As you can see next to the super attack, it shows a little logo. That's a melee super attack. So when you see the transformed Gogeta state, if we look at his passive, it says right here, nullifies enemy melee super attacks within the same turn. So basically now your type of super attack is actually going to factor in when facing certain opponents or when using certain units. So with this update dropping on global, that means most likely that the worldwide download celebration will have something similar to this. So they're going to be dropping this as well. Characters whose super attacks belong to a selected type will be displayed, blah, blah, blah. I think this will also allow for a new filter. Yeah, this is a new filter now. So you can organize not just by types or whatnot, but you can also organize by the super attack variations. Certain character super attacks will be changed to Ki Blast to Other. Oh, changed from Ki Blast to Other. Added a feature that allows you to skip active skill animations. You will be able to skip active animations by adjusting the settings in the options menu. Okay. And that's pretty much it. So those are the 3 things that they're going to be doing here with this 4.18.2 update. But what I wanted to do in this video was to go a little bit more in depth on the same name update portion, because this is going to be the biggest update in Dokkan for a very long time. And the fact that JP has been able to embrace this update for so long and Global hasn't, has led a lot of people to just, you know, yearn for this. So now that we're going to be getting it, a couple things to think about when we get this update. I did do a video on this going over my top 10 duos that I'm looking forward to in the same name update. That was recorded about, I think, 4 or 5 months ago. So some of the duos might not be as heavily prioritized now with all the new units that we have out, but still, make sure to go check that out. I'll provide a link in the description for that. So I don't want to, you know, overlap on that video too much, but I do want to talk about a couple things. So some of the biggest beneficiaries of this same name update, I feel like, are going to be the smaller categories. And the one that I want to talk about in particular is Namekians. Namekians is one of those units that has been plagued by the same name problem. We've always talked about this, how you want to pick one Piccolo. You do so, you eliminate like 30% of the category. So if I'm trying to put together a team, Namekians, I pick this Piccolo. Look at how many units are now unavailable. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 other units are now unavailable. 7. This category consists of 22 units based on how I've been constructing this. Of course, I am bringing SRs in here. I'm bringing the dupe of the LRs. So this is very unrealistic. Honestly, you have even less. So the fact that basically almost half of your category gets taken out just by picking up one unit speaks to a problem for this category. So with this same name update, you'd be able to run this Piccolo with Nail, and then you could run a second Piccolo on the team with a second Nail. So I mention this because of two things. One, you can now have a more complete Namekians team, because having Piccolo and Nail run together actually is one of the best combinations you could have on Namekians, because now Nail gains significant damage reduction. They also link very well together. But number two, this also affects your approach when it comes to summons in Dokkan here on out. As of now, when people summon in Dokkan and they pull certain units, they're always thinking about, okay, is this Baba Shop food? Or can I exchange this for festival coins? Now, there's a third thing to think about and consider when pulling your SSRs. So this is good for the game because it adds even more value, it adds even more recyclability for the units that you pull. It's not just dead weight that you're pulling now. You can consider, okay, do I want to exchange this for coins? Do I want to potentially save this unit so that I can run it on the same team? Which is exactly what I did with Nail. Over the 6-year anniversary, I did a lot of summons, and during those summons, I pulled a lot of units that I have actually decided to keep. So I'm going to try to show you some of the units that I've kept that I'm going to be saving for a rainy day. One is obviously Nail. Another one that comes to mind, and this actually leads to the next point that I want to talk about, that is support units. So one of the other units that I picked up that I've definitely decided to keep is Tien. Tien is a support unit that really helps Majin Buu Saga, but I already have his TUR fully rainbowed and ready to go. So the fact that I'm picking up his SSR version is just because I want to be able to run both of these guys on the same team. And that leads to the next point, which is supports. Supports, I feel like, are going to get a massive boost as well, because let's just say you're running a 4-3 team. When I say 4-3, I'm talking about the four main rotation units and then the 3 support units meta. This is something that I use a lot, as well as my boy Mass Ningen. I'm sure a lot of you do the same thing. So you've got your 3 units on the team. So for this case, we've got Ultra Instinct, UI, and Royal Blue as the main units. And then we also have the friend unit that will also be Ultra Instinct Goku. So imagine one rotation consists of UI and UI, and then the other one will be UI and Royal Blue. The last unit on the rotation, which is the Flex unit, will be rotating in and out every 3 turns. So those units are not going to be around too often, and they'll never be interacting with the other supports. So instead of having to have 3 separate unique support units, you could find yourself in a situation where if you don't have that, but you have multiple copies of, let's say, West Supreme Kai, you could have West Supreme Kai run on the same team as the SSR. And that is, I think, a valuable and underrated thing that you're going to be able to do now with the same name update. At the SSR level, West Supreme Kai boosts Realm of Gods by attack and defense 40%. Critical hit boosted by 7%. That's the SSR, so the name is different. Defending the Sanctuary. The TUR, Duty of Maintaining Peace, Duty to Maintain Peace, sorry, boosts attack and defense by 40% for Realm of Gods, and boosts critical hit by 10%. So on every rotation that you have, you would have a West Supreme Kai. Honestly, you could run these two, as well as the STR version. The STR version doesn't support so much, but my point still stands. You could bring this third version on the team, and that can be your third rotation. So every single turn, you have a West Supreme Kai doing something different. And the whole restriction about their links not activating will not factor in because they're never going to be in a situation where they're having to link up anyway. So if you start to summon some of these support units, consider maybe keeping them until you know for sure that you don't want them. Because I have so many supports, because, you know, I play the game a lot, I summon a lot, I do have the means to use other support units, but you may not necessarily be as lucky. Maybe you don't have a Vados, maybe you don't have a Supreme Kai of Time, who is only available from the Dragon Ball Hero summons, which don't happen too often. So if you don't have West or Supreme Kai of Time, maybe you're short a support unit. Well, if you happen to pull another copy of the West Supreme Kai, hold on to it. Maybe you could use that. So those support units are going to gain a massive boost. And let's not forget, if regular supports are going to get a massive boost, then definitely the 50% supports get an even bigger boost in value. I have to only show TN because this is the only one that I got. But this guy provides 50% attack and defense and tech key +3. That's crazy good. Imagine running this on a team that also has his SSR form. Tech type key +3, super tech, attack and defense +40%. So if you were one of those people who summoned like crazy on the support banners, and you got really lucky, and you have multiple copies outside of the rainbow, consider keeping them, consider farming them up, consider using them. They will be very useful moving forward on these teams. It also helps you in Dokkan in general when it comes to just playing the game. You don't have to now be so enamored with having every single unit because you can use the same unit multiple times to fill out a roster. I feel like this helps on a multitude of levels for varying levels of players. If you're a beginner, you don't have too many units to begin with. So if you have like 5 Gokus, you can run them on the same team. You may not have all the links that you want, but you can still have a fully fleshed out roster. If you're a very experienced player, but you want to have the most optimized setup, and you have units that link really well with this Tech TN, well, now you can bring 2 Tech TNs to get that maximized, optimized link setup. So this is a really, really nice thing. I can't stress it enough. Also, if you guys have been struggling with the God event, this is something that I want to point out to you guys. If you haven't already known this, Tech Caulifla is a cheat code for the God event. The God of Destruction event consists of enemies who are all in the Universe Survival Saga category. Caulifla is guaranteed to dodge any unit that is in the Universe Survival Saga category. So with that said, you can bring her on any category, on any team that you take into that event, and she will never get hit. So imagine running a team that not only has her SSR, but her TUR as well, both of them together. So you can run this Caulifla, Interest in New Power, alongside Radiant Potential. They can both be on the same team. And what's even funnier is if you want to run a Universe 6 team, you can have this Caulifla be your lead, you can have the SSR be on the team, and then you can bring a friend unit that also is the Caulifla. So you could have 3 Cauliflas on the same team on the God event. Now that's just unfair. That's just unfair. But it's probably, you're probably still going to struggle just because your stats are going to be so low. You're leading a Peppy Gals or Universe 6 team with 120% times 2. That's not going to be, that's going to be fun though. I might do a video on that, and I encourage you guys to try that out. This is going to be a really fun thing. This is like a second win for Dokkan, I think. So I think that's pretty much it. All the stuff that I wanted to mention. Again, you should go check out my top 10 duos that I look forward to the most in the same name update. You guys can give me your thoughts as well. I will link that in the description. But basically, folks, this same name update is going to be adding a lot more value, a lot more replayability to the game. And I think before you know it, you're going to start to really appreciate what this brings to the table. And also, free-to-play players, you are also getting a massive boost as well. I'll just make this last point, and then I'm going to head out of here. I'm going to show you for free-to-play, if we look at the free-to-play side, this unit is free-to-play. Super Saiyan 2 Kale. She provides a Universe Survival Saga boost, Key +2, attack and defense +30%. The SSR level does the same thing, Key +2, attack and defense +30%. There are often times for free-to-play players where you are not able to even complete a team just because you don't have enough free-to-play units to put on that team. Now with the same name update, you can bring 2 Kales, and that can cover 2 of your rotations with a nice boost in support. So free-to-play players now have more reason to go into story events and farm out not only the TUR and Rainbow that unit, but also the SSR. This also increases the value of Prime Battle units. If you want to farm out, most of the time you wouldn't, but in theory, if you want to farm out a Rainbow Super Saiyan Goku, you want to farm out a Rainbow Super Saiyan Goku TUR, and you want to farm out a Rainbow Super Saiyan Goku SSR, you can, and they can all be run on the same team. It's ridiculous because this unit sucks at the TUR and SSR level, but the theory and the principle still stands. So free to play, you guys get a big boost. Everybody gets a big boost. Same name update is a massive boost to Dokkan. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below and let me know in the comments, what is the duo that you are most looking forward to using with the same name update? Do you agree with my assessment about the support units getting a massive boost in value? And are you going to be running a triple Caulifla setup for the God event once we get that same name update? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more dope content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it! Thanks again, stay tuned, and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.